Hello, my friends. I'm going to try to address a question that has been coming at me for the last 4 days, and it was, when did I know I was ready for bariatric surgery? It's a really good question because for 20 years or more, I was not even thinking about it. I never thought it would be something that I would consider. Even though I always, my adult life, I was like between 250, 300 pounds, and then I went way up after I got sick in 2013 with that failed surgery on my endocrine system, with my highest weight being 422 pounds. So the quick answer, there really isn't one. In 2000, roughly around 2000, I knew my first friend that had bariatric surgery, and she went from 400 pounds to 200 pounds. And at the time, I was 300 pounds. So I thought, geez, she took the easy way out. That was a really, brave thing to do for her, but that's not for me. So then you fast forward, and it was about sometime in 2022, I was trying and struggling so hard to just lose weight. The Mayo Clinic had already did what they could with my endocrine system and pretty much saved my life. So at that point, we went out to dinner with a couple of friends of ours. The girl that was with us, she was having surgery on Monday. This was a Friday night, and she wasn't that heavy. She was only about 50, 60 pounds overweight, but she had every comorbidity. She had sleep apnea, she had high blood pressure, she had just every high statin, everything. And I thought, oh my gosh, she's thinking about it and she's not even that heavy. And I was so heavy, working my rear nowhere to lose 30 pounds. Um, Worked out. I was never lazy. Everybody that knows me knows I waitressed my whole life. I've always served everybody that comes around. I have always been never just sedentary and sitting. I've been a YMCA member for 18 years. I swam, I do water aerobics. I just don't have an endocrine system. So for me, it was useless. It's just a battle that I will always have. So at that point, that weekend, literally I went home and said, okay, so my other friend that had it 20 something years ago, she went from 400 pounds to 200 and then back up to around 300, but she still wasn't 400. So for everybody out there that says, oh, I know people that had bariatric surgery and they've gained their weight back, that's on them. That's not on the surgeon. That's not on anybody but yourself. Because I've said this in one of my posts, no matter what we do, whether it's bariatric surgery, a GLP-1, or just Weight Watchers, everything comes down to what the heck we put in our mouth. So I just want to put the word out there that it is not the easy way out. Like I thought, I don't want that stigma for bariatric surgery because I've never worked so hard at something in my whole life. Do you think it's easy to cut your stomach out or reroute your intestines or go to a party and be able to eat like 4 shrimp, and if you eat any more than that you feel sick? Because it's not easy. It's I'm sorry that I ever thought it was. So that weekend is when I decided, and I went to the bariatric surgeon, and I had an appointment October of 22, and basically was told, because I was on so many medications, I had hypertension bad, real bad, and I had high statins, I was diabetic, I was sleep apnea. It was just awful, awful. He I was too fat for fat surgery is how I left there, and I think I posted that today. So I had to work really hard and just do the bariatric diet and get some of the weight off. And it would come off if you ate very little. And I had my research done, and I wanted the surgery that I had, which was called a modified duodenal switch, or a SADI. And around here they call it a SADI. There was only one surgeon in the area that I could scope out and find, and he did that surgery. With that being said, I look back and I've never been so grateful. It took off years of my, or it added years to my life and it helped me take off the weight that I needed to do. If I only had 50 pounds to lose, I probably would start with a GLP-1, but I had 250 pounds to lose. So that weight was not going to come off on my own. Sometimes we need a tool, and they call this the tool to help succeed. The SADI is not a gastric bypass. I didn't want a gastric bypass, and it wasn't about who failed and who gained their weight back. It was more about you can't take a steroid or ibuprofen safely after those. And I know that I have so much inflammation and pain that I will always need those things. So I didn't want a gastric bypass because it wouldn't support what I would need for my other bone health. So the SATI is a one, I mean, you can look it up. I don't know the scientific terminology of it. I just know that the success rate of the surgery that I had is huge. It's come a long way with bariatric surgery. I am not saying for you to go out and find a surgeon. My surgeon was Capital Bariatrics, Dr. Matthew McDonald. I cannot say enough great things about him. It worked for me. It's what I chose. There's no way, and it's not even about what I put in my mouth. I can't physically gain back 240 pounds because I'd have to eat and get sick all day long, and it's just never going to happen. So I'm 60, almost 2 years old. I did not do this to go backwards. So I guess for me, I wanted to see my grandchildren. I want to see them grow up. And then we had some experiences that I was really needed to get healthy for in the last year. And I was able to take care of a little 4-year-old and run around and play football with my 6-year-old, now 7-year-old, and things that I would never been able to do 3 years ago. So bariatric surgery saved my life. I think, because that year was rough. So I'm grateful to the friends that I know that did have it. The one that did gain back her weight has now taken it back off, and she's a beautiful soul inside and out, always has been. And I know, as you know, I know a lot of people. I didn't take this decision lightly. It's just like all of a sudden something clicked, and I said, if you don't do it, Lori, where will you be in 20 years? This girl did it 20 years ago, and she had a weight problem all her life. She's a lot younger than me. 20 years from now, I'd be dead. I'm lucky if I'll still live 20 years from now. But besides that, I knew that if I didn't drop the weight and I stayed the way I was in 2022, I wouldn't be here to do this and talk to you. So, like I said, if you're on a diet, if you're on a GLP-1, if you're going for bariatric surgery, if you already had bariatric surgery, I support all of those things. Whatever a person does to lose weight and feel better about themselves, then I'm pro that. That rocks. You're tough, you're rough, you're fierce. I'm exhausted. I'm not gonna lie. It's not a fix all. I still have a lot of damage that I did to my body from years of hyperparathyroidism and 3 failed surgeries and bone aches. And I had a physical yesterday, like I said in one of my videos. The physical is great. They're so happy. I've lost all the weight. I'm doing great, but I have arthritis pretty bad. I've just seen an arthritis specialist. I have maybe some allergies that's causing inflammation. All the pain isn't gone. So I'm freezing all the time. I've lost all my insulation. So you trade one thing for another. But heck, I can run, I can walk, I can play, I can put videos out for you guys. I can cook. Life is good. And it just clicked in my head, and I guess that's what happened to me. That doesn't mean I'm trying to say to you, go to a surgeon, you're fat, because I would never say that. You have to be the one that's ready for your change. I just hope that whatever your change is, stop. None of us should judge each other. Life is hard, and everybody has different coping skills. My coping skill was, oh Jesus, I'm stressed, I want a cupcake, or I want pizza, or I worked until 11 o'clock at night and eat 2-3 slices of pizza and go to sleep. It's bad. Life is hard. And America, when I look now at what our portions are, to go out and have soup, salad, dinner, side dish, vegetables, starches, then dessert, then drinks, then, I can't do it anymore because physically I can't. But I think, holy crap, no wonder we're all a little bit larger than the other parts of the world. I know I'm talking fast. I know I'm sitting on my hands so that I'm not talking with my hands. And I just hope this helps somebody. Or if it's annoying, I'm sure you shut me off by now. Thank you all again. And I love you. And thank you. Bye.